Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and every week we take a look at the Villages real estate market. We'll give you an idea as to long-term trends and the differences between the different regions of the Villages. If you watch the show, you'll have a very good idea as to exactly what the state of the real estate market is in the Villages currently. A couple of things to note. First, we produce the show every Monday. Make sure you check the date to ensure you're getting the most recent information. Secondly, all of this information is drawn from the multiple listing service, the MLS. It does not include any listings on the VLS, which is the village's own internal listing service, which is also the only marketplace where you will find new homes listed here in the villages. There are areas of the villages where it seems that MLS has more listings and other areas where it seems that VLS has more listings. But whichever area you're looking at, if you don't see MLS and VLS properties, you will not be able to see everything for sale here. If you find the information in the show useful, please consider liking and or subscribing. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. And if you need to reach me, you can reach me either at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com or through our website, DavidisinFlorida.com. We have a very different approach here. We really focus more on a data-driven analysis type approach. If you're a buyer, we will help you determine what the lowest reasonable offer that might be accepted on a property would be. And if you're a seller, we'll do exactly the same. We'll determine what the most that you could reasonably expect for your property in a reasonable period of time. We've added a lot of new material to the show. I think you'll be surprised and interested to see the data that we're able to extract, and it'll be in graphical form, so easy to absorb. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at what's happening this week. We start every week by taking a look at the yield on the U.S. 10-year note. The mortgage rate most closely tracks this interest rate and is usually about 3 percentage points higher. As you look at this graph, you can see that the 10-year note is in danger of yielding over 5% again, and it's hard to imagine the real estate market is going to be unaffected by this. So now we'll take a look at the village's real estate market as a whole, and I'm going to zoom in on this map starting from this view, which gives you a perspective as to where the villages is in Florida, for those who don't know. On these maps that are showing you all active listings, the size of the circle denotes the size of the property, and the color of the circle denotes its price per square foot. The larger the circle, the larger the home. The darker the circle, the lower price per square foot, i.e., a large bright circle will be a more expensive priced home and larger. We can compare that previous map to this one, which shows roughly the same area, but here we're looking at all homes that either sold or went pending over the last 60 days. Obviously, if you're buying or selling, this level of comp comparison can be invaluable. Now let's take a look at long-term trends in the number of listings here in the villages. We're at a new high. We jumped to 420 active listings today from 398 last week. This is the highest number we've seen. Of the homes currently listed on the MLS, the highest priced home is $1,295,000, which has been reduced from $1,495,000, and the least expensive home is $159,900, which has been reduced from $199,900. Now, the long-term chart here, we're looking at the trend in the median listing price per square foot for all active listings in the villages. This week, 260.26, up slightly from the 259.32 of last week, and barely higher than the 259.94 that was the median listing price for homes a year ago. And here we're looking at how long homes are staying on the market. This is the median listing time on the market for all listings, currently 45 days, down slightly from the 46 of last week, and about the same as the 44 days on the market that was in effect the same week a year ago. So now let's take a look at the different areas of the villages. What you're looking at here is a map that's showing you all active listings on the MLS currently. On this map and on the maps coming up, the size of the circle denotes the size of the home, and the color of the circle denotes its price per square foot. The larger the home, the larger the circle, the more expensive per square foot, the lighter the circle. So a dark circle is a lower price per square foot, and a large circle is a larger home. So as I described, I've broken the villages down into 4 areas. This is the area that I'm referring to as the north. It is everything south of Highway 42 and north of Highway 466, and it does include Spanish Springs. This is the area that I'm referring to as the middle north, which is everything south of 466 and north of 466A. This is the area that I'm referring to as the middle south, which is everything south of 466A and north of Highway 44. And this is the area that I'm referring to as the south, which is everything south of 44. A point I'd like to reiterate here, it does appear that currently the VLS has more active listings than the MLS in the south, but I would point out that whether VLS or MLS has more listings should not matter to you as a buyer. Without being able to see both markets, you will not be able to see everything that's for sale here. A friend of mine alerted me to something she'd seen recently, which I thought might be interesting. There are currently 90 properties in the villages that have a self-described view. And I took a look at the different categories, and this is what I found. 33 homes are described as having a golf course view. 21 homes are described as having a water view. 18 are described as either having a tree or wood view. 11 are described as having a garden view. These 6 homes are described as having a private pool, and there are additional 3 homes that showed up on the screen, 2 claiming a greenbelt view and 1 claiming a park view. Let's take a closer look at the differences between the different regions of the villages. I've broken them down into the north, middle south, and south, as I described earlier. On the right, under all regions, you see the villages as a whole. On the left, you see the individual areas of the villages. And what you can see on this chart is how many listings there are in each of the areas of the villages, what the smallest, largest, and median-sized home for sale in those areas are, and what the least, most expensive, and median-priced home in those areas are. So, for example, in the villages as a whole, 418 listings, 768 square feet, the smallest, 4,216 square feet, the largest. The least expensive home in the villages, 160,000. The most expensive home, 1,295,000. And as you can see, that home is located in the middle north. We'll look at this data from a couple of different perspectives. Once again, these are listings, and here we're looking at how many homes are available in each price segment of the villages. So, for example, all regions is the entirety of the villages. North, middle south, and south represent how many homes are available in each of these price segments. This is the same data, just a different way of looking at it. Once again, we're looking at all listings in the villages. And what we're looking at here is how many homes are available in each size bracket. So you can see that in the villages, there are few homes that are less than 1,000 square feet and only 2 that are more than 4,000 square feet. This is just another way of looking at the same data, giving you an idea as to what prices are available in each area of the villages. And our last look at listings. This is showing you how many listings are available in each area of the villages, in each price segment. So as you can see, by far the most active price segment is the $300,000 to $400,000 range. 54 homes available in the mid-north in that price range, 7 in the mid-south, 98 in the north, and 19 in the south. This is a chart that we've been paying close attention to for the last several weeks. It's showing us the number of new listings and the number of homes going pending. We think this is a pretty good indication of short-term demand because it shows how many homes are entering and leaving the market each week. Last week, 53 new listings and 34 homes went pending, which is worse than the previous week when there were more homes going pending than being listed. Even last year, the same week, there were 7 more homes going pending than being listed. If the number of new listings exceeds the number of homes going pending, then inventory will continue to increase and this market will be pressured. This is the graph that we've started, which keeps track of the difference between new listings and homes going pending. Prints below the zero line indicate more new listings than homes going pending, and prints above the zero line indicate more homes going pending than being listed. We are close to one of the worst weeks that we've seen over the last 2 years. So now let's take a closer look at the homes that went pending last week. They went pending at a 253.52 median price, down from the 261.74 of the previous week, but this is better than the 244.94 that homes went pending at the same week a year ago. Another worrying sign, this is the price change from the original listing price for the homes that went pending last week. The median reduction was a 5.61% decrease from the original list price, which is worse than the 4.54% that sellers had to offer the previous week, and also worse than the 4.78% discount that sellers were being forced to offer last year. Now we'll look at sales. Obviously, as the villages grows, you would expect the number of sales to be growing, and we do keep track of this. As you can see, last week, 42 homes closed compared to only 35 the week before, but 42 is barely changed from the 40 homes that sold the same week a year ago. A couple of interesting things to note about the sales. The lowest price sale of 122.5 was originally priced at 175,000, which is a more than 30% discount. And this is the median price per square foot realized on the homes that closed last week, 245 a foot, down from 262 of the previous week. And this is lower even than the 252 for the same week a year ago. So now we look at all listings again, and we're looking at what percentage of listings have reduced their asking price from the original list price. This week it's 54.05%, slightly improved from the 54.25% of last week, and marginally improved from the 56.5% of sellers that had reduced their asking price a year ago. And here we look at what the percentage of decrease is. And currently, of all listings on the MLS, median decrease of 4.68% from the original list price, slightly improved from the 4.91% reduction that was in effect last week, and slightly improved from the 4.76% reduction that was in effect the same week a year ago. That is this week's look at the Villages real estate market. Please consider contacting me if you're interested in buying or selling here in the Villages. I think you will find our data-driven approach will give you confidence in any number that you're proposing, whether as a buyer or a seller. Once again, DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com or DavidisinFlorida.com. Please reach out to me if you have any questions about real estate in Central Florida or life in the Villages itself. I hope to hear from you. Take care.